All right, everybody. Hello and welcome. Episode number 330 Miro. Yeah. All right, guys. So, welcome to episode number 3. I am the Dirty Bird, your heel host. That guy over there is Ziggy. He is our babyface booker here, already enjoying his ice cold, rowdy energy as we go. The third man in the ring from the land of the rattlesnake, Mr. Silver Fox himself, Primo. What up?
How's it going, everybody?
What's going on? Primo on location today. He's not filming from home, so glad he's able to still join us here tonight. So, all right. So, we're going to, first of all, thank our sponsors. I'm going with a little cotton candy rowdy here tonight. I'm going to try this for the first time here on air. Here we go. Cheers.
Cheers.
Wow, that's delicious and really does taste like cotton candy.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm at the circus right now.
Strawberry lemonade, sun shining.
Got cherry limeade.
Yeah, that's my favorite one there. And always hooking us up, Coastland Apparel. We're all rocking the hats. Got the Coastland tee going on. So appreciate those guys supporting us here. Make sure you go use the promo code at www.coastlandapparel.com. Use promo code BIRDTV, BIRD-TV, for 15% off. That'll pay for your shipping and a little more. So appreciate those guys. Episode 3, man. I'm fired up, man. Let's run right into it. Primo, this day in wrestling history. Hook us up.
All right, check it out, everybody. This day in wrestling history, March 31st. We're going to go all the way back to 1985. You know, Dirty and Ziggy might remember this. I wasn't even born yet. The first WrestleMania. Hogan and Mr. T versus Piper and Paul Orndorff on this day. That happened. Next up, 1996. Another WrestleMania. WrestleMania 12. Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, 60-man Iron Man match.
Ooh.
And then fast forward 10 more years. Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor. American Dragon himself, Bryan Danielson, defeats Roddy Strong for the ROH heavyweight title.
Yep. I remember that one. Wow. How many? What year was that?
06.
06. Wow. So 15 years ago, man. I remember watching that. You know. Yeah, that was prime
so
American
today was
Dragon.
a big day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
Mania season, baby.
Let's do some birthdays, and unfortunately, March 31st doesn't have really any wrestling birthdays, but I'll get you with one tomorrow, and that's Mr. RKO himself, Randy Orton, and yours truly, the Dirty Bird, birthday tomorrow.
Yes, sir. 21, man. It's been a good run. 21, man. I'm happy, man. I'm going to go have some cocktails. Yes, sir.
April Fool's joke.
I know, man. I've heard them all. Cheers to you guys, man. Appreciate that, man. I didn't know y'all were going to bring that up.
Cheers.
Man. Yeah, I always remember, man, because me and Randy, we share a birthday, man. So that's cool, man. Good wrestling facts there. I mean, that Shawn match, man, like, you know, the Iron Man, like, it's, you know, probably goes down one of the legendary matches in history.
Yeah, definitely. That's the one where he came down from the top on the zip line.
Yeah,
that entrance. Yeah.
All, you know, glittered up. And, you know,
bedazzled.
Classic, man. Love that. Yeah. All right, man. So way to kick the show off here, man. I like that, man. That's going to be fun getting some little tidbit facts like that. So once again, guys, welcome to the show. I'm the Dirty Bird. Thank you guys all for being here. Dippin' Dots, thank you, man. Appreciate that. Happy early birthday. Glad you guys are tuned in here tonight, man. We got a lot of stuff going on. We're going to talk about a lot of things wrestling. I'm going to give away some stickers tonight as well. We got our very own SitDownMarks stickers here, so I'm going to give away a couple packs of those tonight. So if you're interested in some of those, man, stay active in the chat, and we'll be giving those away towards the end of the show. But thanks, everybody, for being here, man. Appreciate it. So So I was going to tell this story last week, but we missed Ziggy. So, but he has to be here for this show. So, it's the third episode. So it's time to tell the story of why we call the show "Sit Down, Marks." Now, I run this by Primo a while back, but I want to tell it a little more extensively. So Ziggy, I'm going to tell a story, man. I know you seeing things from different angles, so feel free to jump in here.
Sure,
so
absolutely.
we're at Bourbon Street bar in Southside Chicago for AAW show. I don't know which show it was, one of the 1,000 we went to, but so
It was one of the first ones.
well, yeah, it was definitely one of the first ones, yeah, for sure. So the drinks were flowing. It's a bar, we're having fun, and there's these two guys that were season ticket holders there, and they were always at the matches, always front row, always giving the guys, the wrestlers, giving it to them, like stuff. They were like always there. So every show we always seen them.
I'm pretty sure they wore green shirts too, like the WWE green shirt guy.
Yeah. You always kind of knew, they were there. So anyway, we're watching wrestling, and things are just going on, and these guys have been piping off, for quite a while at the wrestlers and stuff, and I wasn't annoyed by these guys. I wasn't like mad. I mean, they were having fun. We were raising just as much cane as they were. We were probably 3 or 4 deep that night, maybe. So we're all raising cane, having fun. Well, for whatever reason, I go to sit down, and these guys are still up, like talking, like blah blah blah, blah, And then so just out of nowhere, man, I'm like, "Sit down, Marks," And they look over at me with like these big eyes, and I'm like, "Uh-oh." And Chris or Ziggy and a couple other guys looking at me like, "Uh-oh." I'm like, "Oh boy, this is kind of just popped out of the mouth, man." I just,
Yeah.
So it just came out, right? So so they're looking at, so they kind of stop. We have that like awkward little second or two. Whether are we gonna be mad at each other? Is this gonna be funny? Like what? So it turned out to be funny because right after I said it, right back to them, right back to us, they go, "Well, look at you! You're sitting front row too. Like, who are you calling Mark?" So it was just all just like a big laugh, just like a big funny, So like every now and again when we're all getting rowdy at shows and stuff, we're like, "Sit down, Marks," to each other and stuff. So, but anyway, that's the story. Ziggy was there.
Dirty's introduction to Chicago wrestling.
Yeah. One of the main reasons I was excited to move up this way too is it's a hotbed up here, man. So Chicago, the greatest wrestling city in the world. I'll argue anybody that. We'll talk about that another day for a list or whatever, right?
Uh-oh.
All right. So there's a story, man. So now we're going to dig into show recaps. But first of all, Ziggy booked Fastlane. So let's go. Let's take a look here at the graphic and see how he did. Let's take a look.
I'll take it.
All right, not bad. So 4-2, yeah, for the first the first pay-per-view. So pretty good start. You're on the plus side, Ziggy.
Yeah, man. And also, I will say too. Last week I was talking about this when we were doing the recapping your booking, that you called the Alexa Bliss Randy Orton thing spot on. Like,
heck yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He said, what did he say? He said they won't touch.
He said no contact.
Touch.
Yeah, no contact and Fiend return. So.
Spot on, man. Spot on. All right, man. Let's hop into recaps here. Last Wednesday. Not tonight, but last Wednesday, Primo, NXT, man. What happened?
All right, so a few hot points we got from last Wednesday. We had L.A. Reid back in the ring, or L.A. Knight, L.A. Knight back in the ring. He was defeated clean. Bronson Reed went over him clean, which I thought was interesting. They had the match from the previous week with the tag champions when they faced off against Finn Balor and Karrion Kross. It was confirmed this past week that Danny Burch is injured. So one half of the NXT Tag Team Champions are injured.
Yeah. Sucks for those guys, man. They finally got a break, got the straps.
Another announcement that was made is tonight, actually. William Regal announced that there will be a 12-man Battle Royale Battle Eliminator for Johnny Gargano's championship. So that'll be fun.
Who wins that? Who wins that? Who they gonna put up there with Johnny?
I was thinking about that actually. I'm not sure. I don't know. It's a toss up right now. They have so many people. He did face. I forgot who he faced off with. But you could put anybody in there.
Yeah. He's still doing the Dexter Loomis kind of deal.
He's in there. He is in there. He's in the Battle Royale too. So.
Yeah, they could go that way because he's been wrestling Austin Theory, last week. So
right,
yeah,
the Austin Theory with the hug thing, and then he choked him out. Yeah,
yeah.
Moving on, we had Jordan Devlin, the rightful claim to the Cruiserweight Championship.
By the way, underrated entrance music, man.
Yeah, man,
that's sweet, man.
it really is.
Yeah, that jam, man. That's good, man. That's a good tune.
He defeated Kushida, even with the distraction by Escobar and his goons. So after the match, Devlin and Escobar doing their face-off, teasing for TakeOver because they're going to have the winner takes all cruiserweight match at TakeOver. Stand and deliver, and out comes the showstopper himself, HBK. Comes out and tosses a ladder right into the ring in between the two guys. They look down at the ladder, look at each other, set up for a ladder match for that Cruiserweight Championship, obviously. That's going to be great. I'm excited about that.
I like that. Put some stakes on it.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty cool segment.
It really was.
Yeah, it was.
And then our final segment, I feel like they've done a lot of these lately. Not just NXT, but across WWE as a whole. This final segment was a contract signing through with Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly. Except they had the signing for an unsanctioned match. Basically, William Regal saying that Kyle O'Reilly's still not medically cleared. They're not going to sanction this match for TakeOver, and of course, all chaos broke loose after that was done.
Pull apart.
Right. Yeah, like usual, like any contract signing,
Yeah, the pull apart is like the hardest part of the ring. Yeah.
But yeah, that was our NXT for last Wednesday.
All right, good deal. Yeah, so just leading up to TakeOver. Is TakeOver going to be only one night?
2 nights. Stand and Deliver is one night on USA, one night on Peacock.
Oh, okay, nice. I must have missed that. So, have y'all switched over to Peacock yet?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I've had it.
Oh, you have had it. Yeah, I have
it. I have it through my internet provider. So.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. I wish. No, I'm going to have to get it here. But I did look into it last night because they put. I watched Raw last night actually, and they had the little QR code on the screen you can use. So I was checking into it. So.
Oh yeah, getting that half off that.
Yeah, it was like $250 off for a month or something. Or a couple
they're promoting that more than the WWE Network, $9.99.
Yeah, which is cool, man, because I watch Premier League soccer. That's on Peacock, and honestly, like I'd kind of been holding out because I had got all these other streaming services and stuff, So, but yeah, I'll be switching over here shortly. So, all right, Primo, thanks, buddy. Let's head over to AEW last Wednesday.
It was a pretty hot show.
This is one I was excited to talk about.
I'm this is kind of really getting me into AEW, so I've never really been a big Omega fan. That's probably an unpopular opinion there, but that's how the show opened. This whole show kind of changed my views on it, too. Show opened with Omega versus Matt Sydal in a non-title match. If Sydal wins, he'll receive a future title shot.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Don Callis out on commentary.
Man, how good is he right now?
Yeah.
Cal's such a heel, man. Such a heel.
Of course you like him.
Technically, I don't even work here.
Right. Back and forth match. Those guys got history. With Omega nailing the V trigger for the win. So yeah, it was a really good match.
It was a V trigger win.
Yeah.
It seems like they're really talking this one winged angel up like he's only going to use it like in certain big matches or something.
Right. So next we had Hangman Page versus, and I'm going to pronounce it wrong. Is it Caesar Bononi?
Cesar Bononi, I think.
Yeah. That's a
Close
big
enough.
dude. Big dude.
Yeah, he was in NXT for a while. I don't know what happened. Just probably didn't get a shot, but something's going on with him right now. Something with his family. Do you know anything about this? Yeah, something about Cesar Bononi. He was asking for like something's going on with his family, like some kind of something had to do with that. So I don't know exactly. So anyway,
gotcha.
But yeah,
good match. Page won with his buckshot lariat, which
God, I love that clothesline.
Seems a little extra like Johnny Moxley's clothesline, but that'll be another topic.
Yeah.
Rolling into a segment with a Lance Archer promo, which I really like this promo. Kind of calling out Sting and how Sting was the man back in the day, and now it's time for Archer to be the man. He had
Murder Hawk
and everything, right?
Yeah.
Really like that promo. Next up, we had Shivani interviewing Britt Baker. I'm loving this. Britt Baker's she's on fire right now. Probably the best thing in women's wrestling, I think.
I was going to say that same thing. I think she is just based on that match alone right now. I mean, she's hot, man. I mean, it's her or you gotta say Bianca or Sasha probably right now. But yeah, I'd go with her too, man.
So she comes out and explains, basically Rosa should be thanking her for being a part of her history that she wrote with her own blood.
Should be thankful for the rub.
Right. Funny thing in that promo, on Twitter, Mick Foley gave her a shout out about that match. She brought that up in the promo that how it took him 20 years to become a hardcore legend. She did it in one night. So.
Yeah.
She's a heck of a heel. A lot of segments, Next up, Christian Cage was backstage with the Varsity Blondes. Those guys crack me up.
Yeah. Pillman.
Right. God, that mullet. Frankie shows up and essentially challenges Cage to a match. Question why he hadn't put the work in yet. So that's coming up tonight.
Yep.
It's Christian Cage's first match. That rolls into Varsity Blondes versus FTR with Dante Martin and Sean Spears. This really kind of just led into a FTR and Sean Spears ended up winning, leading into the Pinnacle coming out with MJF cutting a promo. He's one of the best on the mic right now with that promo.
Tell you, man. Yeah, definitely.
Now, next week he's going to have a gift for the Pinnacle. I don't know how I feel about that name, though, but...
Yeah.
You think it'll stick?
I mean, it's definitely MJF, so it definitely plays into his gimmick.
Yeah. Let him use it in a couple fire promos, and then we're all like, "Oh man, the Pinnacle!"
It works now.
I know, man. He can sell you.
Next up, another segment with all the conspiracy theories going on with Team Taz. Taz has everybody assure him. It kind of came to me. Cage isn't really on board with all this, but
right.
I think that's the angle we're going there. Rolling into another segment with QT Marshall. Kind of doing the when's it gonna be my turn gimmick with Cody. Challenges Cody to an exhibition match, and Cody comes out and agrees to it with Arn Anderson as a special referee. So, next up, we had the Lucha Brothers and Laredo Kid versus the Young Bucks and Brandon Coulter. I was surprised Lucha Brothers and Laredo got the win. Classic Young Bucks Lucha Brothers match there.
Mm-hmm.
Really just kind of setting up the post match where, this is kind of where Omega got me, coming out, jumping in the ring and questioning the Bucks' loyalty and just wanting an answer. And,
Yep.
that's the reason he
Put it
came.
up. Put it up.
Yeah, put it up. That's the reason he came to AEW.
Too sweet, me, bro.
Not going to greener pastures in New York, as he put it.
Right, yeah.
The Bucks ended up just leaving the ring, not really giving an answer, which I guess that was his answer, as he was screaming a million times, it's your last chance. But that's wrestling.
Right, yeah.
Omega turns around and just eats a double super kick from the Lucha Brothers, which that was a fire segment, I thought.
Yeah, I like that too. That was good.
Next up, Nyla Rose versus Tay Conti. I don't know much about these two, but I guess I was surprised Tay Conti won. I like that move. She won via the DD Tay, as she calls it.
Yeah, she's another girl who was in NXT. She's on there now. But it almost seems like they were kind of talking about her a little bit. So maybe a little push for her is coming. They got to have somebody to feed to Britt. So should be a good baby face to throw in there. Yeah, that would work.
Agree on that. That kind of rolled up into the post match. Kind of setting up another angle where Vicky was out there with Nyla Rose and grabbed Tay's foot and Rose beat her up a bit, and then am I pronouncing it right? Sheeta.
Yeah.
And then hit Rose with the kendo stick, and then out comes Bunny and nails both Sheeta and Conti with the kendo stick, and what do you know? Big Money Matt Hardy comes out and rails against how the women's title tournament was terrible because Bunny wasn't even in it, and that's growing on me. The Matt Hardy gimmick right now is growing on me.
Yep. The way he's stole that match too, kind of like let me get the pin.
Right,
I think they're going to keep that up. So.
Then it comes to the main event: Darby Allin versus John Silver for the TNT Championship, and Darby Allin he pops me. We saw him. Was that
Black Label was the first time I think? Yeah.
At some point we saw him.
Yep.
Hot then, and always puts on a great match. Sting comes out. John Silver's out with the Dark Order.
Darby's girlfriend just got signed by NXT too.
Oh really?
Priscilla Kelly. Yep.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I think they're still together, as far as I heard. But yeah, so.
Sting came out and kind of evened the odds with his bat. Always pops me. Allen ended up winning, which Hardy was. I remember right. Hardy was out on commentary. And he pulled Allen out of the ring and basically just a big old brawl with everybody. And that's just kind of how the show closed. So, good show, setting up a lot of angles, I think.
Yeah, I was going to say that same thing too, man. I think they're setting up angles. I don't know when the next pay-per-view is that they have lined up on scheduled date or whatever. But definitely moving towards something there, starting some new feuds, that kind of stuff. So. All right, Ziggy, thank you, sir. All right, Primo, let's head to SmackDown from last Friday.
All right, SmackDown. We opened up the show with, of course, it was, we're coming off of Fastlane still for this past week. So we opened up the show with Daniel Bryan coming out, basically talking about what happened at Fastlane. He made Roman tap. He made, basically did what he said he was going to do. And I thought it was funny. He said, I made Roman tap out, and good thing is he's still alive. Because he said, Roman said he'd die.
Pipe in, you tapped out.
Yeah, right, exactly. So basically at the beginning, he said he's going to hold the show hostage till Pierce comes out and gives him what he wants, which is his rematch on Friday night with Roman Reigns. He comes out. They end up having an exchange. he states his case to Pierce. Edge comes out. He's pretty ticked off about the whole thing. He thinks, it's like to him, he feels he'd already got rid of DB. Why are you coming back? So so he ends up, that opening segment ends up spearing DB, hitting him with a chair again, and then we move on. And so that,
all right, time out right there real quick. What's the over-under on spears of the Roman Edge? Like, I'm going to say like 8.
Yeah, I'll say it's more than 5 for sure.
Yeah.
Over 8.
Yeah. I agree with that. That's good.
Yeah.
I'll take the over on that.
Me too. All day.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like the whole Suplex City thing says just spears.
Spear City, bitch.
Mm-hmm. So that's a developing story throughout the whole night.
Yep.
We'll move on from that for a second. Seth Rollins had another match with Shinsuke, a rematch from Fastlane. He defeats Shinsuke, but immediately after, Cesaro makes his return and attacks Rollins. He ends up challenging Cesaro to a match at WrestleMania. Cesaro accepts. You just did that, and that reminded me. I've always liked Cesaro. I liked his old entrance theme with the sirens and all that. I liked whatever he had before this one. Well, it was because he was with the Bar.
Yeah, it was the Bar, 007 kind of guy. Yeah. I liked him as Claudio Castagnelli on the Indies.
Yeah, that too. This current thing with like the cyborg, like that. I mean, the music, I don't know. I guess it hasn't grown on me yet. Anyway, moving on. So that's a match now. It confirmed at WrestleMania. Cesaro and Rollins, they're going to be facing off.
Yep.
See how many swings Cesaro will get in.
At least 50. At least 50.
Yeah.
It's going to be big, man. It's Mania, so.
Yeah.
My Cesaro claim to fame, he stopped in my parents' truck stop, and when he was doing the 007 gimmick, and that's where he bought his sunglasses from after doing a show in Bloomington there. I remember.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. You can't beat stuff like that.
Right.
And then here's one that I know Dirty's real excited for. I'm actually pretty excited about it myself now. KO has Sammy out in the middle of the ring on his talk show, and basically he said, I just want to ask, and Sammy, oh yeah, I know what you don't even have to say it. He goes off. He's like talks about whatever else. He does this like 2 or 3 times, cutting KO off. Finally, he says, "No. Do you want to match? You want to face me at WrestleMania? Yes or no?" And he basically backed him in the corner, and so it's confirmed now: Sammy versus Kevin Owens at WrestleMania, and then
part 98.
Yeah. Part 98. If you've watched the Indies, part 1098. El Generico, Kevin Steen. But, hey.
But it's always good. Yeah.
I've watched that match 1,000 times. When they put those guys together and they started talking, I'm like, oh, Mania. They're going to have a Mania match. So, yeah, I'm excited. That's the number one I'm excited because I know they're going to go all out.
They always burn the house down. So, and then, after he finally got his answer that he wanted, Kevin Owens unleashed fury on Sammy for kicking him in the face last week. Moving on.
I don't think that rivalry will last that long this time. I think they'll probably blow it off pretty quick.
After he beats him at WrestleMania, then it'll be like, okay, we're friends again.
I think Sammy needs this win more than Owens, though. Sorry.
Yeah. I agree with that. With the whole conspiracy thing, he needs to get some clout there. So, the triple threat match was confirmed. That they went on about this all Friday night. They have several backstage segments.
You trying to be the booker now, Primo?
Why?
Well, you picked the triple threat. It's come to fruition here.
I kind of saw it like I don't know what 2 weeks. Yeah, I had a feeling that that's where it was going because I don't know. I kind of did.
Yeah,
No,
because
it's good.
yeah, and with Roman, he's not going to have a warm up match with Daniel Bryan. His match before that, if they wasn't going to be involved, would be somebody else. But yeah, so yeah. I mean, I don't know. I know we're going to talk about this later, but right now, who wins that 3-way? Ziggy.
Oh, you get Edge hands down.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Yeah, Edge because of the story, everything coming back. Brian, yeah, we'll give Roman some heat. Brian, he'll be there to make the match awesome, to make Edge not take as many bumps probably. But honestly, I wouldn't be mad if Roman won. Like that would kind of put him a little higher on the chief, throne. But yeah, it's going to be Edge.
That Edge pins Bryan, and that sets up for the rematch with Roman and Edge at the next pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the one that used to be the pay-per-view right after Mania? It used to be like
Backlash.
Yeah, I was going to say Flashback, but yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Backlash. But yeah, so Triple Threat was announced by Pierce at the end of SmackDown, and after that happened, Chaos just, Edge snaps. He tries to concerto everybody. Everybody gets a chair. So it was pretty good. At the end, Edge has the far off stare into the camera, looking all.
Like he always puts his hair behind his ears, like.
So I also saw this thing too that like he's gotten more scruffy as the weeks have gone on. There's people that are basically theorizing that's on purpose. So he's looking more grizzled and pissed off.
Oh yeah. Speaking of hair and that kind of stuff, Ziggy, you're with me on this, man. Ciampa with hair.
No,
I can't get past it.
No,
I can't get past it. I know.
No.
He's going to have a match with Walter, and and I'm just like, man, Ciampa looks like he's 60 with that hair. I'm like, just bald it up, man. Bald it up. Yeah. But anyway, sorry, it's a little tidbit, but I've been thinking about that in the last couple of weeks, and I'm like, I'm gonna mention that on the show. See if anybody else.
No, that's a good point. Actually, I was watching it when I was watching NXT. My wife was like, "Is that an old man in there wrestling?"
Yeah.
So it definitely stands out. It's a sore thumb to me. But yeah, moving on. That was SmackDown in a nutshell.
All right, next up we got Raw from this past Monday. So I just watched that yesterday. So Primo, what happened on Raw, man?
We got the whole Hurt Business opening up the show in the ring. They talk about what happened with, or what's going on with the business arrangement that Bobby Lashley's made with the Raw locker room. That if any of them takes Drew McIntyre out, then they'll get a World Championship match. Then also they mention how Shelton and Cedric have failed the almighty Bobby Lashley, and they have also failed him by losing the tag team championships. So they implode right there. Basically, Lashley strikes on Cedric. Shelton throws Bobby Lashley, which I thought was cool. I mean, they don't show his strength very often, and also he's a freaking collegiate wrestler, so he launched Lashley real quick. But then, so basically they were officially kicked out of the Hurt Business. Cedric and
which I thought was a little early, but they must have plans.
Do you think it's because that last week they had the match that said no members of the Hurt Business can be ringside? So if they're not part of the Hurt Business,
they could be working the work.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, we fooled you guys. We're not members of the Hurt Business. We're just here. Yeah. Well played, though. If they go that way, well played.
Right.
Well played.
We had, last week when we had Sheamus hit Matt Riddle with his scooter, that led up to this week was a one-on-one exhibition non-title match, Sheamus versus Matt Riddle. Sheamus went over clean. Sheamus beat the U.S. champ. So that's, you beat a champion, you know what's coming next for him.
That is going to be a stiff match at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Yeah. Riddle can handle it, man. I mean, me and Ziggy have seen him work tons of stiff matches.
What's the over/under on hardest part of the ring bumps?
I'm gonna say 5 and take the over.
So I called this I didn't call this to you guys, but
well, you didn't call it, man. Don't count.
I know, yeah. You're right. It was not on record. So, yeah. But Braun Strowman defeats Jackson Riker, Gunner.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And afterwards, last week, Shane McMahon said he agrees to a match at WrestleMania under whatever kind of match Braun wants. And right when he did that, I was like, well, he's going to get that sucker from running away all the time. He's going to put him in a cage. And so that's what Braun decided to do. Steel cage match, Shane McMahon, Braun Strowman at WrestleMania. I'm still not that excited about it, but it'll be fun to watch Shane jump off something.
Yeah. I was thinking ladder or cage.
Right.
It's like
so
how Hogan has to pose, Shane's got to bump. So.
Right.
Shane must bump.
Yeah.
Shane must bump.
Also, we had Drew McIntyre. So with the business arrangement Bobby Lashley made with the Raw locker room, Drew McIntyre is basically expecting all night to get jumped, and it just isn't happening. He goes to the Raw locker room, and he's basically challenging each of the members of the Raw locker room, like, when are you gonna strike me? You gonna wait till I turn around, or what? What's the deal? He comes across Ricochet, and Ricochet's like, look, you know me. I'm not, let's go do this.
I like this spot, like instead of, like doing the old watching his back kind of deal, he just walks in the locker room. He's like, all right, which one of you is going to step up, Yeah. And then I thought it was going to be one of those things where everybody came running up to him and he would just be cracking dudes,
right.
And then like everybody's left laying and he walks away like, what are you going to do now? Kind of deal. But yeah, that was good, man.
Bathroom stall.
Yeah. Ricochet.
Yeah, so
they're more anyway.
Yeah, definitely. So they ended up having a match, and Drew defeats Ricochet, and then immediately after is attacked by Mustafa Ali, and ends up defeating him as well.
Yep.
So Drew runs a small gauntlet there, gets past that, and out comes SmackDown's King Corbin. King Corbin.
Interesting.
Lays out McIntyre, and Lashley comes out and finishes the job. Puts multiple hurt lockers on Drew, and that closes the show with him laying on the mat. So, that I don't know what's developing there with Corbin and the Almighty.
Yeah.
So
I will say this. Pimp Daddy MVP came out today and said on Twitter that Corbin is not a member of the Hurt Business, and that was all he said.
Fair. Okay.
Yeah.
He's an accomplice, or what do you call that? An acquaintance.
An acquaintance, an associate, a hired gun, or something like that. They'll say, yeah. All right. Well, that wraps up Raw, man. Good show there. Setting up, for what's to come here, Mania. Let's see. Mania's next weekend, so we got. One more two more SmackDowns, one more Raw. So, yeah, it's going to get hot here soon, man. That's going to be fun. All right, so let me cover Impact Wrestling for you here. Just some quick little notes. They came on the show Tuesday night, showing about the pay-per-view Rebellion, where it's going to be Rich Swann, Impact Champion, versus Omega, AEW Champion. They did come out and say that's going to be for both the belts. So that's kind of the way they led off the show. And then right after that, they led into James Storm. It was his 1,000th match under the Impact brand last night. So they talked about that. They're doing an interview with James Storm. He's talking about, all the guys he wrestled, was partners with, that kind of stuff. And then, he mentions Chris Harris from America's Most Wanted that he was a teammate with for a while. And then Chris walks in, and they do a little stare down, and then they hug. And then so Chris Harris is going to come to the ring with James. So nice little touch. If you've been watching Impact forever, they were a dominant. Yeah, they were a dominant tag team, and Chris. So Chris come there with him. So and then he comes back in later. So moving on in the show, next match was Sami Callihan versus Larry D of Triple XL. Chris's favorite indie wrestler, AC Baby, interfered with the match, and then AC interfered in the match. They were beating up on him. They're doing this storyline where Sami Callihan saved Trey Miguel last week. Well, Trey Miguel did not come to save Sami, so Sami's kind of in the ring laughing that he did not save him. So anyway, they switched to a really cool video package of Finn Juice Robinson, and David Finlay over in Japan. It's like a rock star type video. They're showing the belts to everybody. The fans are going crazy over them. They're dancing and stuff with them. So after that, it heads to a match. Brian Myers beats Suicide, kind of a squash match, a match to just show, what Brian can do kind of deal, because he hasn't wrestled a whole lot since coming there. So anyway, after the match, Cardona, Zack Ryder, woo, he, he had challenged Myers to a match last week. So this time, Myers grabs the mic, declines the match, says, "I don't need to wrestle you. I'm not going to, blah, blah, blah," and then throws the mic down and leaves. Then they run into next Tony Khan. He's promoting AEW show for this Wednesday. He cuts a promo, kind of a heel promo of all the booking in wrestling goes through him and nobody else. But I mean, it was tongue in cheek. He was being very funny. It was hilarious. I was laughing. He was kind of his hair was all over the place. He had glasses on. It just looks funny. And Shivani's standing there next to him, or Schiavone, whichever Jericho calls him. He's standing there, kind of yes man in him, So that was fun. So after that, back to the ring. Madman Fulton and Ace Austin versus TJP and Josh Alexander. Alexander used to be Ethan Page's tag team partner. Page is in AEW now. So Fulton and Ace Austin win. I think eventually there's going to be an Ace Austin push. I kind of think that's where they're going with this right now. So after that, after the loss, they were kind of arguing over the pin, and then we go backstage. Don Callis is there with the Good Brothers and Kenny Omega, and then so they come and attack Rich Swann and Willie Mack, beat those guys up all over the place, and then they announce after that there's going to be a number one contender scramble match for a shot at the women's title. So Deonna Purrazzo is the women's champion in Impact. So they're basically just going to have a big scramble match, battle royal. But the funny part about it is it's going to be a no holds barred, anything goes. So it'll probably get pretty extreme, I imagine. So announce for that, and then we head into the main event: Eric Young versus Cowboy James Storm. Storm's 1,000th match. Chris Harris comes to the ring with him. Eric Young, EY, dominated most of the match. I kind of seen where this is going. Match starts breaking down a little bit, and then Eric Young's on the outside. Chris Harris hits him with a forearm, puts him out, and then throws him back in the ring. James Storms hits him with a freaking awesome last call, a.k.a. super kick. Yep. And puts him out, grabs the victory for his 100th win. So cool match, cool show. It ends with they're talking about Omega and Good Brothers are going to wrestle next week. So that's kind of the way it ended. So another setup, good match, pretty decent show. Just kind of forward in storylines. The other storyline, Nevaeh and Jessica Havoc, they've been tag team partners for a while. Well, Nevaeh turned on Havoc, so it looks like they're going to babyface Havoc, which is weird to me and Ziggy because we know her as a huge heel. So that's everything on Impact. Next up, let's talk about the Indies here real quick. I want to show you guys a graphic here real quick about this match from last week. So that match we sponsored was Dominic Guarini and Matthew Justice. They wrestled in UWFI series. The match aired last week. It was a pretty short match. Very cool, very good match. They were kind of battling back and forth. Justice got the win on a knockout. So thank you to Paradigm Pro Wrestling. I tweeted out today, and they retweeted that to about 7,000 people. So thank you to Paradigm for doing that, and appreciate those guys. So they got some more shows coming up. But every Wednesday now for this month is the UWFI series. So tonight will be episode 2. Moving on this weekend, April 3rd, which will be Saturday, 6:30 on Twitch, twitch.tv/AAW Pro. They're showing one of their live. It's like a taped session they've already had that they're going to show back. So that will be on April 3rd. So check that out. Everything at WrestleMania is starting to set up for the Indies. They always do a big week of indie wrestling matches. So all those are getting set up. Josh Barnett's doing Bloodsport again. They announced him versus Moxley as one of the matches, which I think was supposed to have been the match last year. They didn't get to do it. So Joey Janela's Spring Break is coming back. He's doing his thing again. Outlaw Mud Show champion. So he's doing his thing. The Family Reunion Collective, they call it the Collective now. It's basically where a bunch of different Black Label Pro, Glory Pro, a bunch of different wrestling promotions get together and put on a show all week long. So all that's getting put together. PWX next show, April 17th. What Lies Beneath? New champion TJ Boss is going to defend the title for the first time. Glory Pro out of St. Louis also running April 17th. So, all these indie shows are starting to come back up right now. So, there's some release wrestlers out there. So I'm looking for some surprises maybe on the indie scene. Maybe, we'll see. So, a lot of these guys now have like AEW contracts, and they still work on the indies. So last few things, Southern Underground Pro in Nashville. I don't know how far this might be from you, Primo. They're an excellent promotion. They wrestle out of this place called the Basement East, which burnt down or partially burnt down a while back, but now they got that up and running again, so they're going to be running shows there again. That one's on Independent Wrestling TV as well. Last thing, a little show here close to us. 01 is doing War Games May the 1st in Noble, Illinois. So that's kind of the shows that are kind of kicking back up here. So, well, that'll cover all the recaps here tonight. Thank you, Ziggy. Thank you, Primo, for running over those with us.
10 hours, by the way, to Nashville.
10 hours now. Okay, so not so far. Yeah, I know what part of the East Coast you were on.
Yeah, that's Nashville's. When we come back from Texas, we do our visits back home. That's our halfway point.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, next segment here. I'm going to ask the question to Primo, and then I'm going to show you the graphic to give him a minute to think about it, because this might be a question he might have to think about for a minute. So pick Primo's brain. This is where I ask Primo a question about his wrestling fandom, and he will let us know what the answer is. So all right, here's your question, Primo. Think about it before you answer. You got his pose in. Think about it before you answer. I'm going to answer the question, then we'll go look at the graphic. When was the first time you were sincerely mad that a wrestler lost a match? Like, when were you mad? What was the first time you were mad about, like, when you were young, you were watching a match, like when the Undertaker's streak got broken or something like that? So let you think about that for a minute. Go look at this here. All right, Primo, the first time you were legit pissed that a wrestler lost a match or that it made you mad.
I think that it was what made me mad was when The Rock went corporate. That was early on in my wrestling. It wasn't that early on, but I'd been watching for like a few years at that point.
Yeah, I love that answer though, man.
That's I was like, he was getting hot, and then he went corporate over Mankind. So it's like,
yeah,
that was and as a kid, I was a little kid at that point too. So I was just like, what's going on? So
right, yeah.
The corporate champion, that whole deal. Yeah, I was heated. He had some real life heat from me for as a little Primo.
Oh, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. All right, guys. So that is the Pick Primo's brain of the week. So next, we're going to start the drop kick discussion here. It's going to be our top 5 favorite championship title belts. So we're going to take like a little minute break here. We're going to run to the restroom, and so we'll be right back here in just a minute. So look here, and we'll just take like a quick little 1 to 2 minute break, and we'll be right back here. So take a look at this. All right, we are back here. Sorry about that. I don't think I was going to make it through the show there. Old man bladder.
It is what it is.
Yeah. All right, guys. So drop kick discussion of the day is your top 5. 10. Top 10. Top 5 favorite championship titles, title belts, straps, whatever you want to call them. So, all right, Primo, why don't you kick us off, man? Number 5, sir.
Number 5, and as of the time I made this list, this is current right now. My number 5 would be, and I don't think a whole lot of people think about this, the NXT North American Championship. I like it. It looks like an older championship.
Yeah, but it looks like what Bruno Sammartino used to have.
Right.
Yeah. Hey, good choice, man. I mean, it's an attractive belt. It's a new belt. I mean, I like it. I mean, when they come out with it, it's kind of like their Intercontinental or USA version, of the belt.
Their workhorse title. Yeah.
Yeah. Good pick, man. Can't go wrong with that one. What do you think, Ziggy?
I think I'm going to have some surprises for you on this one.
Okay.
Me pretty well, but number 5, I got to start with the big gold WCW belt.
Okay.
What more is there to say?
Right, man. I mean, all you got to say is Flair, Dusty,
Yep.
You know.
Yep. And how long it was around too. You know. Just,
Yeah.
You don't see belts that big anymore. What? I mean, maybe
Yeah.
AEW's belt or AAW's belt.
Yeah. Yep. Those are all definitely big belts. Jet Dryer says 24/7 is his favorite. Yeah. Good. I mean, good pick, man. Yeah. I mean, the big gold belt. I mean, obviously, you knew that one's on my list. So,
Right.
I mean, that's it was one of the first. Big belts, had a lot of gold on it. Flair's name looked awesome on it, lined in diamonds, and all that stuff that comes with it. So, hey, good pick, man. Good pick. All right, my number 5. Just to make sure here, my number 5 is the Intercontinental title, WWE Intercontinental title. This is the one Ultimate Warrior, the honky tonk man made popular. The one.
So real quick, I gotta hop on Primo's topic because
Okay.
I was thinking about what match made me mad, and this will show our age difference. Was when Steamboat dropped the IC belt to Honky Tonk.
Oh, yeah.
Quickly after WrestleMania 3. But anyway.
Yeah, that's when you start thinking about those, man. Holler 578 says the $1 million belt. Another good one, man. Like, I mean, well, how would you not want a big belt with a big dollar sign on it? And it came with money, man. Yeah, definitely a good one. But yeah, Intercontinental belt. The one they just replaced with the ugly one that they have now. Is probably the worst one ever. I don't know. I just don't like it. But I mean, and the other thing too. On the flip side, the U.S. belt that Riddle has, I love that one, man. That one looks great. It's different. It's got a little curve in it. Cool eagle. So, but yeah, number 5 for me is Intercontinental belt. From the back in the old days. That belt was cool, man. It was synonymous. I loved it. Correct me if I'm wrong, you guys, but it was one of the first belts too. I think that had a white leather.
Yeah.
So that kind of too made it look cool. I thought for me. So, All right, Primo, number 4.
So number 4 for me was a lot of times, every now and then, wrestlers can get their own gimmick belt. Mine, one of my guys himself had the Smoking Skull belt, so I like that belt. I mean, I'm Stone Cold fan.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
you go hand in hand for me. So it's a Smoking Skull Championship. Was a good
Smoke was coming out of the nose on it.
Yeah, and they had the whole thing with the they even ran the whole storyline off of it with him and The Rock. So it was
it was cool. All right, guys, let's take this time to thank our sponsors, Rowdy Energy here. Go check out Dirty Bird 33 TV on Twitter. They got I got a link there you can use to get yourself some Rowdy. So appreciate those guys keeping us hydrated through the show here tonight. Coastland Apparel, www.coastlandapparel.com. Go check those guys out. Here's one of the shirts. Use promo code BirdTV. Yeah, Ziggy's got his own. I didn't even see that before. That looks sweet.
Yeah, these long sleeve tees are nice, especially in the Midwest here. So.
Yeah, you got that. He's got that new on. My wife. Yeah, my wife's got, she loves the hoodies. She likes the double strings. For whatever reason, she likes the double strings, and they're very comfortable, too. So thank you to Coastland Apparel, man. Those guys rock. They support us here. And, without them, we probably don't have anything to wear during the show. So thank you, guys.
Jet Dryer says the rated R spinner belt.
Yeah, that's that one, too. But that was a mock of Cena's, though.
Yeah.
He didn't do it first.
No.
Yeah. But a good belt, too, though. And then Holler said the tag team belts from WCW when the Rock and Roll Express held it. Yeah, they had a bunch of different belts there, too. And plus, back in those days, they had the United States tag titles, too. Everybody had a belt back then. So who's up next? Ziggy, number 4.
Number 4, you said it last on your number 5, the IC belt, but I'll go even more. I got to go with the 1980s IC belt. It was a little more square.
Yep.
But yeah, that's my number 4.
Yeah, number 4. I was trying to think some of the guys that held that belt, like who is synonymous with it. Somebody held it for a really long time. Maybe it'll come to me in a second. I can't remember. But okay, well, for me, number 4, this one's going to come in maybe a little sideways to some people, but it's the WWF Winged Eagle belt. Number 4 for me. Pictures of Shawn and Brett. Those guys battling for it back in those days. It was. The boyhood dream is, when they said about Shawn, and him holding the belt up, like I'll always remember that, man.
All the times with the Rock flipping it. So.
Yeah. Winged Eagle belt, man, just a classic. For me, with WWF, WWE, that's the belt. You know what I mean? That's the synonymous. That's the number 1 to me. So. Yeah, number 4. All right, Primo, start us off with our top 3, man.
So we already talked about this twice. My number 3 will be talked about the third time, which is that classic IC belt. I love, that IC. I like, a lot of the IC workers. One of my favorite guys is Jeff Hardy, Chris Jericho, Mark as well. So
the thing about that belt too is I think. Why we like it so much is it used to mean something. They were prepping that for the next title run.
Right.
Not much like that anymore.
Yeah.
Right. So it's clearly, it's represented by a lot of great wrestlers throughout history, and to be on all 3 of our lists. That specific, the classic IC championship, like you guys said, not the current, and I actually didn't mind the oval one either in the 90s, but I prefer the classic one better.
Yeah, I didn't mind the oval one as well either. Yeah, I always remember like Shelton Benjamin had that title, and Jeff Hardy. Yeah. So it's variants, but the one that we all like the most is the number 1 for sure.
Right.
All right, Ziggy, number 3.
Well, since you're coming on to my belts here, I'm probably going to throw you for a loop here. And
okay.
Number 3's got to be the NWA 10 pounds of gold. I mean, as you can see, I'm a fan of big belts.
Yeah.
It's in some incarnation right now, but when Flair retired it, I mean that was the belt, in the early '80s.
Yeah.
For NWA, so
it was, man.
Look of it with all the different flags and everything on the sides of it. So.
Yeah, kind of one of the first belts that really meant world title. With all the flags on it. NWA had the American flag on it, the 2 little black kind of bubbles on it. So yeah, I mean, so it's still, it's still around, but yeah, it's definitely. One of the better belts in NWA history for sure.
Right.
For sure. All right, for me, number 3, we've already talked about it, so I'll just say it there. It's the big gold belt for me, number 3. It's Dusty. It's it's Flair. It's for me too, man. It's Ronnie Garvin. It's God, who won? Hands of Stone, Ronnie Garvin. Dusty. God.
Goldberg.
Yeah, I mean, Goldberg. Yeah, Goldberg. Yeah. Ricky Morton. That's what I was trying to think. Ricky Morton. He took it off Flair. So, it was Flair's belt unless somebody needed the rub, and then somebody got that. So, yeah. All right, Primo. Number 2.
All right, number 2 for me. I just want to let the people that are watching, we don't discuss these lists beforehand. But number 2 is Big Gold. So, for all the same reasons, and the prestige of it alone, and then I like the look of it. The way it comes up right there on the midsection. It's It's one of the. It's
point of it coming to like right here.
Yeah,
your sternum. Yeah.
So, for sure. I mean, for all the same reasons we've already mentioned. Definitely it's my number 2.
Number 2, Ziggy.
Number 2 is the ECW World Title.
ECW.
The original.
The blood. One had the blood on it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this. Everybody thinks it was Shane Douglas that had that first, but it was actually Jimmy Snuka.
Oh. I did not know that. I would have guessed Shane. I thought Shane was the first ECW champion. Was Snuka, huh?
Shane was the one that, when it was kind of, I think it was intertwined with NWA, and he kind of dropped the NWA and kind of crapped on them a little bit. But
yeah,
that belt, I mean, when ECW came on the map, I mean, it was so different.
Right. It had red in it. Hadn't seen that too much since a belt I'm gonna talk about here shortly. But yeah, it was kind of a gore,
Right.
Yeah. All right.
Styles in the background.
Oh my God! Yeah, Dirk Diggler. He said ECW championship belt about 5 minutes before you did, so he agrees with you. Yep. All right, so my number 2, we've talked about it. It's the 10 pounds of gold. It's it was Flair back in the day, man. Seeing him standing there with Bob Caudle or Gordon Soley or David Crockett, suit, sunglasses, holding the 10 pounds of gold. Nick Aldis is kind of doing it now. So, all right, so we're heading now to number 1. So we're going to start with Primo. We'll go all the way around back to me. And once we've finished with our number 1s, I got a graphic here to show you guys with so you can kind of get a look of all our number one belts. Primo, you want to start us off?
Yes, sir. So 5 down to 1. I had the NXT North American Championship. Goes next to the Smoke and Skull Championship, Stone Cold. The classic Intercontinental Championship belt. Big Gold World Heavyweight Championship. My number 1, this one was, for me, 1, for aesthetics. I like how it looks. Number 2, the era, early 2000s, whenever it was being fought over on SmackDown after the unification of the titles.
Mm-hmm.
I was super into wrestling at that time as my teenage years. So the WWE Undisputed Championship, the black one, I love that belt. It's a good. Brock held it. Big Show, Undertaker,
JBL, Eddie.
Yeah, Cena. Cena, I think, was the last one before he changed it to the spinner belt.
Yep. Yeah. That belt says Eddie Guerrero to me every time.
Oh yeah, and Eddie Guerrero. Yeah.
Brock number 2.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
The hot belt.
Yeah, it was, and it was hot. During that time, they were trying to, change it up a little bit. So, I mean, so awesome. All right, Ziggy, number 1, man, who you got?
All right, number 1. I don't think it's any surprise. I think it's blasphemous how low you had it on the list. I mean, this should be everybody's number 1. And you guys didn't even name who the best title holder of that was. But it's got to be the Winged Eagle.
Yes.
With the Winged Eagle belt is just, that's nothing better.
Yeah.
There's nothing better. You guys don't know what you're talking about.
I agree, man. I agree. All right. For me, you got to go back to the 80s and 90s for me. Really the 80s to see this belt. I'm going to show it to you. I put it on a lot of my graphics, but my favorite belt of all time is the NWA television title from back in the 80s. Tully Blanchard, Magnum TA, Nikita Koloff, Arn Anderson, probably the most synonymous. This is when my fandom really started kicking in. I was looking at the Four Horsemen like, oh my God, these guys are the coolest ever. They got high dollar watches, they got suits, and their fans in the crowd have suits on. And the synonymous was always Tully standing there with the belt. So go take a look at this graphic, guys. Here's all our top picks here for our favorite belt.
That'd be that one.
Yeah. So there's the top 5. Winged Eagle for Ziggy. WWE World Championship, I guess you'd call that of the 2000s era, I guess. And then NWA TV title for me. Based on what you grew up watching, it seems like that's where you lean towards the one that you like the most. So there's the Dropkick discussion of the day, sponsored by Coastland Apparel. www.coastlandapparel.com. Use promo code BirdTV to get 15% off, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Holler said the WCW Light Heavyweight Championship belt. That was one nobody remembers. Yeah, I remember that one, though. A lot of cruiserweights, Michinoku. Yeah. Michinoku. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, he had the light heavyweight belt. Juventud. Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah.
Another one to Jet Dryer. He's talking about the spinner belts. If any, of all the iterations of spinner belts, whether it was Miz turning it upside down to make the M, or Rated R, or Edge making the Rated R belt, I liked the first one Cena did with the U.S. Championship.
Yeah, that was the first one. It was like round on. It was like a round, inside.
Yeah, and that was back when he was Dr. Thugonomics.
Yeah.
So I like that.
Still ripping up guys in little rap battles and stuff.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's the Dropkick discussion. Next up, guys, let's talk about Hall of Fame announcements. So we heard this week RVD, well-deserved. Kane, obviously. Yeah. Yeah. The whole effing show. Yep. Eric Bischoff, Mr. WCW. He created the Monday Night Wars, so he's in there. Molly Holly, women's wrestler, now trainer. Great Khali. Okay. All right. And then announced today for the celebrity wing, William Shatner. What do you guys think about those?
I mean, we're about out of celebrities at this point. So.
Yeah. Yeah, true. I'm thinking probably maybe a tag team and maybe one more single.
I'm thinking, I think that maybe another women wrestler. They only have one in there, so maybe Michelle McCool.
Yeah.
They're not going to put Taker in because of no crowd, and also Kane is doing this one, so I'll probably put Taker in next year.
Yeah. The Hall of Fame's on Tuesday this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's on Tuesday night. So, yeah. Well, here's my thing too. I was trying to guess. I don't know. I'm gonna just throw this one out there. What about Lex Luger?
I saw that. I saw where Mick Foley made that case for him.
Yeah, and that's where I saw it too. I like that case. And
at this point, I mean, everybody's got a pass. It's time to get past all that stuff. And Lex carried him when Hogan had to go make the nanny or whatever.
Right.
Lex Express, man. Lex Express. Yeah. Yeah.
And everything he did in WCW too.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely time for Lex to get in there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. I was trying to think who else is kind of like, deserving, but, I think there's probably, a lot of names that could get in there.
Are the Dudleys in?
Yeah, they went in. I think they went in last year with NWO.
Was it last year? It was either last year or year before.
Yeah, I think
but
it was.
they went in.
What about Spike? Throw Spike in
there. He's a Dudley.
Gilbert.
Mike Awesome.
All right, so they're announcing. Yeah, Mike Awesome. So they're announcing Mania matches for Saturday and Sunday right now. What night you think's looking the best?
For me, night 2. You got Roman. You got the triple threat. You got Rhea versus Asuka, Sammy versus KO, and then Big E and Apollo. That's a solid day.
Yeah, number 2, second night's looking pretty solid. I'm loving the main event, but man, that first night, I can't wait to see Sasha versus Blair. I mean, that's gonna be.
Yeah.
Are they gonna make that the main event? You think on night 1?
Looks like the world champion's gonna be.
Lashley.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lashley. Yeah, I think they'll probably stick with that. But, Sasha Bianca will probably be right under the main event, and I would bet they get the most time. I think you're going to need a little time for that match. Let Bianca build, get over, do the comeback, all the stuff for getting them over. All the stuff for getting them.
That's my job.
Yep. Can't book.
Yeah.
You can't outbook the booker. That's for sure. Yeah. All right, guys. Next up, Wrestler Spotlight, Big E. Let's all three talk about Big E for a second. Ziggy talked about earlier, when the IC belt meant something. You guys think that's what they're going back to here? Like this is going to be a slow burn of Big E? I mean, he's got the tools. He's got the size. He can talk. Not the greatest talker, but he can talk.
I still stand by. We got to get Big E needs a heel turn. I said that, first show, and a heel Big E is,
Well, when they introduced him, they brought him in with Punk and the other girl. They were in the Society, whatever that is.
Oh, you're talking about
Straight Edge Society, where it was, yeah. So, and that was the first kind of look of him being a heel. He always stood there mad, and always had a mean look on his face. So that's going to be my question is before he makes a run at the title, let's just say let's say Edge wins the belt, and then they kind of blow off Edge and Roman for a little while. Roman Big E would be a good come up for Big E.
It'd be one of those physical feuds, where they're constantly battling week after week.
What'd you say, Ziggy?
Yeah, and then you got the Usos and the rest of the New Day. That could be a hot angle. Yeah.
Plenty of substance there that they can do. I was just going to revert back to Monday, with Kofi and when they were doing that little backstage segment with the paper, Yeah, that was awful. The paper part was funny, but that was kind of like when I first kind of thought about, man, maybe they are a little bit funnier with Big E, you know what I mean? So, and then they did the segment of reading each other's mind games or whatever, So yeah, that was.
I love them, though. They sell merch.
Oh God, yeah, all day. That's why they're the 35-time champion in 2 years, man. Yeah. So all right. Well, where's Aleister Black? Where's Keith Lee? Anybody know?
So actually, I think so. Keith Lee was injured a while back, and yeah, I don't remember exactly what injury it was, but I say they're waiting for a Raw after Mania return.
Yeah.
Wasn't Black? Isn't he posting some cryptic tweets out there or something?
Yeah,
I saw.
Yeah, I think so. And also, I kind of looked into this a little bit. He hasn't been seen on TV since Zelina Vega left.
That's his wife, right? Ain't that his wife?
Yeah.
Well, so we'll see if those guys come up. And rumors are popping up on the internet too that Andrade confirmed he does not have now confirmed from whoever that he possibly doesn't have a 90-day no compete, which they normally have. So that would be nice, but I don't know if I believe that or not. It seems like they all have it, like it's just part of the contract. Can't remember the last one that didn't. Miro did, Rusev. So yeah. All right. Once again, guys, toast to Rowdy. I got the cotton candy here tonight. Strawberry lemonade for Ziggy.
Switched over to sour apple for me.
Yeah, appreciate those guys. They hooked me up with a little package there. Appreciate it. All right, so next up, has your favorite champion changed at all? Ziggy, you still Roman?
Oh, yeah, Roman all the way.
Of
Roman
course.
all day.
Of course. Roman must pose. Primo, who's your favorite champ, man?
So actually, mine has changed. Mine was I was saying Big E, right? But now You know who's grown on me? And it's not that I didn't like him to begin with, but his backstage segments.
R-Truth. I know it. R-Truth.
Yes, the 50-something 24/7 championship runs.
7-Eleven.
Yeah.
I-95 South.
No, but Riddle. I like. It's between Riddle for the U.S. champion or Darby with the TNT. Yeah.
I like all those, man. Yeah. I'm gonna stick with Omega just because I think this is the start of the build, and it's not really about I think Omega's the best champion. I just think right now he's the most influential champion. He's bringing in New Japan eyes. He's I'm loving this deal. Especially with Impact. Like all those guys all working together. So yeah, I'm gonna stick with Omega, man, just for that particular reason. So, all right, guys, getting down close here to the end of the show, man. Let's talk about what we like in wrestling right now. So let me go first. So Primo, NXT is moving days, correct?
Yes, sir. Moving Tuesday nights.
Okay. Impact is going from Tuesdays to Thursdays. So let's talk about this. So Monday Raw, Tuesday NXT, Wednesday AEW, Thursday Impact,
Friday
SmackDown.
Yeah.
Saturday you could say Indies or Ring of Honor.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sunday's pay-per-view if it's on.
Yeah.
So
right.
So that is my thumbs up for wrestling because it's going to be on every day of the week, baby.
That's right.
Yeah,
it's a good spread. It's a good spread.
It's a good spread. Yeah, and nobody, wars are good, competition's great. Yeah, but everybody's got their own night now. So all the eyes can be on everybody's product, man. So I think competition helps, but that helps too. Thumbs down. I'm going to say what I've been saying, man. We're still in pandemic era wrestling. I need fans in the crowd, in the stands. I need people popping. I need, kids dancing, old ladies swinging pocketbooks at heels. You know what I'm saying? That's what I need. What about you, Ziggy? What are you up and down on?
I'm up on it's just WrestleMania season. I know with the pandemic, it's not like it usually is, but man, this is my favorite time of year. Especially, I love that Raw after WrestleMania. So just getting this.
Oh yeah.
This is where.
Yeah.
Just gets me going. Hopefully we get some surprises at WrestleMania, some swerves, which always get me to pop. But yeah, that's what I'm up on. What I'm down on is, I was reading. I have the Peacock Network. And with WWE switching to there, just where they're editing a lot of the content out of there. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah.
Oh, they are?
A lot of the DX stuff's not going to be on there.
It's the explicit stuff.
Yeah, the controversial stuff, which, it is what it is, but it's always cool to go back and look at that stuff. I mean,
especially that 90s era. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't like the censorship that they're doing, or at least give you a different tier, put a parental control on it or something.
Sure. Yeah.
But,
yeah. I didn't know that. That's news to me. That sucks.
Yeah, a lot of the DX stuff I saw is coming out, and I think the Piper, which it probably should be out of there. Piper and Bad News Brown.
Yeah. That's some controversial stuff being said there. Yeah.
At least give us an option to, at least the 90s WWE stuff. So that's what I'm down on.
I agree. What about you, Primo?
Thumbs up for me right now. I am really enjoying my Wednesday nights with both NXT and AEW. They're both putting out. I'm more excited to watch those right now than I enjoy Monday and Friday, but those two shows with NXT and AEW, I am glued,
Yeah.
So that's thumbs up for me. Thumbs down. I've been saying it for weeks. Thumbs down is Bad Bunny. I can't stand it. My gosh, dude. On top of that, I actually like The Miz and Morrison, but did you see the hippity hoppity thing? That was don't ever do that again.
Yeah.
Out with the kids.
Yeah.
He's gonna be buying that Peacock network for WrestleMania now.
Yeah, they gotta get that mainstream in there, man.
But as far as the whole Bad Bunny thing, no, I'm not digging that. That's my thumbs down.
Yeah.
And also, back to Peacock, the interface. The interface is a whole lot different than WWE Network. I hope they tweak it.
What do you use it on?
I use it on. I have an app on my smart TV.
Okay. Yeah.
That's
not bad. I got Apple TV. It's not too bad.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be doing mine through the Roku. So I haven't, I'm gonna sign up in the next couple of days or so. I haven't, looked at the overall setup. For me, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say I like WWE Network. You can say, I don't know, you want WrestleMania from 1992, and you can go directly there, or you can search Bad Blood 1998. I feel like right now, since they're just beginning, it's a little harder to search for specific stuff like that.
Yeah, and they'll dial it in, a little more. For me, what I watch, man, other than pay-per-views, is I watch like the documentary stuff, like the 24s, man. Love that stuff, man. The 24s, the day of, what's the other, the FCW shows, what I mean? Like I like going back and watching all that. So hopefully all that stuff is, still somewhat the same. So real quick here, guys, jumping ahead, I'm going to be giving away some Sit Down Marks sticker pack here tonight. So if you are in the chat here and interested in taking home some Sit Down Marks stickers, just let us know here. We'll come back here shortly. So we talked about UFC last week, man. Ngannou and Miocic. Ziggy, talk to me, man. What happened there?
I mean,
he's a bad man.
Ngannou,
he's a bad man.
He's the real deal. I still can't believe he lost to Derek Lewis.
I know. And he come out today, he said, I want Jones, and then I want Derek Lewis.
I mean, number one, you got to give it to Stipe. He's best heavyweight UFC champion of all time. And he stood in there with that monster. He got caught and got rocked.
Yeah, everybody has.
Excited for, they got to make that Bones Jones fight happen. Whatever he's trying to do with money. But, Jones deserves the money.
Mm-hmm. So,
there's a lot of money to be made in that fight.
Yeah, and that's the biggest fight.
Done. Pay the man what he wants, or get close to it and just get the fight done.
I agree, man. He was the biggest. That's the biggest fight out there right now.
And I think, Ngannou could catch him, put him down, see Bones Jones knocked out.
That's what I'd want to see if I was tuning in. So interested there. How did Sean O'Malley look?
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't. I heard about some of the fight, but I didn't see. So
he made it classic. He knocked the guy down and showboated. He got right back. He ended up knocking him out, though. O'Malley's the real deal. Without him getting hurt in the last fight, he probably would have won that one. But
Yep. Interesting finish there.
Woodley got submitted, right?
No, I was about to ask who won that fight because I'd never seen what happened.
I stopped watching Tyrone Woodley fights.
I believe he lost by submission.
They were so good in the beginning, and then they just became snooze fest. So
did you see that? That new fighter they signed, that young kid, that Paddington or from England, it's supposed to be the next Connor.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
really?
Got a mouth on him like Connor too. So
I did see that Connor and Poirier are talking about a third. Is that what you're gonna say? Yeah.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. So I'm glad you brought that up.
Yep. Diaz is gonna fight somebody. Yeah. So they're setting up, man, because they're getting fans back soon. So they're going to be locking up some big fights here shortly. So, all right, man. Looks like tonight's winner of the stickers, man, we're going to give a pack to Dirk Diggler 85. In the thank you for chatting along here with us tonight. So Dirk Diggler, man, if you could just message me on Facebook or Twitter there, you can see it right there on the front page. Any one of my social medias, if you can just send me your name and address, and I'll send those stickers out to you, man. Appreciate you chatting along here with us tonight. So congratulations, sir.
Dirk. Yep.
Next up, real quick, here as we wrapping up the show. Next week, we're going to have our first guest on here with us, a buddy of mine, AJ. He's going to come in, and we're going to talk about our favorite match of all time, and then we're going to talk about WrestleMania. We're going to go through the card so far. We're all going to pick the winners, and I'm going to come up with a little trophy for whoever does the best, and then we'll come back after Mania and see who does the best at picking the winners.
So a trophy's involved, so I'll lose.
Yeah. When Rumble season comes back next year, we'll have to talk about the trophy that eludes Ziggy that we were talking about. So, hey, Dirk, thanks, man. Appreciate the compliment. Glad you enjoyed it, man. Send me that message. I'll get those stickers out to you shortly. But another thing, too, real quick, I was going to say earlier. Now, I know we're planning on going to Mania next year at Dallas and Rumble, wherever that is. But we were talking about Monday Mania. We might need to stay till Tuesday, guys. I mean, that Monday Mania, we might be kicking ourselves in the butt if we turn around and go home after Mania. That might be fun. So we might just have to consider that one.
Lots of beach balls in the audience that night. So
yeah.
Hopefully Cesaro's not.
Right. Yeah. No kidding. So, all right, guys. So just wrapping up here. Like I said, next week we're going to have AJ here. We're going to be doing some watch-alongs here soon where we watch old wrestling pay-per-views, wrestling shows. We might watch maybe a wrestling documentary or something like that. So, make sure you guys are staying tuned for those. We got some really cool topics coming up here. Like I said, next week we're going to talk about our favorite match of all time, and which I might have to dig for that one. I might have to decide really because I've always kind of had a couple handfuls of favorites. So I'm gonna have to decide which is my favorite. So, but yeah, we got those Mania shows coming up, man. It's Mania season. I'm excited. Once again, thank you to Rowdy for powering us through the show here tonight. There it is, Rowdy Energy. Thank you, guys. Also, coastlandapparel.com. Go check those guys out. Yeah. I thought those were full for a second.
No, I'm empty. We're done.
So Primo's going to be jacked up for a while, that's for sure.
Yeah.
He's going to be up late. So thank you guys for coming here and checking out the show tonight. Like I said, thank you to coastlandapparel.com for sponsoring the show. Thank you, guys. I had fun. That's episode 3, man. We're coming back here with episode 4 next week. Primo, Ziggy, thank you, sir. Yes, sir. I like the 4. That's the only episode we can do it, so we got to do that a lot next week. Yeah, we got to do the 4s a lot. Yeah. So, thank you, guys. My heel booker, or excuse me, my babyface booker, Ziggy, and third man in the ring, Mr. Primo, Silver Fox himself. Getting in the brews before we go. Thank you guys so much, man. I had fun. This was a fun episode tonight. Thank you guys all for being here once again. Dirk Diggler, the winner of the stickers tonight. TB Gordy coming in here late, man. We're ending the show, so tune in here next Wednesday, guys. We had fun. Hope you guys did too. And we'll see you next Wednesday.